Good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to go over our 20,000 mile review on the Chevy Bolt 1LT 2023. For those of you that don't know, I purchased this exactly 6 months ago today. I ordered it 9 months before that, but it came in March 11th. I took possession March 11th, 2023, and at the time of this taping, this is September 11th, 2023. So I had been averaging about 3,000 miles a month because I'm a part-time Uber driver, which is a lot of miles for a car. But we also, my wife and I just took a almost 3,000 mile trip down to South Florida, and we just returned last week. And so that added the extra. So tonight, when I pulled in the garage, it was sitting at exactly 20,000 miles on the nose. So I thought it was time to do the review, 20,000 mile review. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? So let's start with the good. I haven't changed my mind one bit from the 15,000 mile review in reference to our car being the best rideshare vehicle, bar none. It has worked out great. I got a call the other day from Uber. I've taken over 700 trips now as an Uber driver. They were telling me about my ratings and, thanking me for being an Uber driver. And in that time, now that includes some time when I did some, back pre-COVID, I was using my Prius to do some driving. And I never got any complaints about the Prius. No one told me it was too small or too slow, or I never had any issues. The Prius was a really good car, the Toyota Prius, for Uber driving. The Bolt just takes it to a new level. From acceleration to battery regeneration, and as you know, I have Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay, so the mapping system on the 10.2-inch center screen is phenomenal. It works like a charm. It does everything it's expected to do. It's not meant to be a Maserati. It's not meant to be a Porsche. It's not meant to be a Tesla. But what it does in the first 20,000 miles is it starts in the morning, runs all day. I charge it in the garage. I average, today, I did some Uber driving this morning for about 4 hours. I was averaging 5.3 or 5.4 miles per kilowatt. And for a while today, I was at 5.8, and then I hit some higher speeds running somebody on the interstate, which cut it down some. And I drove today about 109 miles or 115 miles today in my 4 hours. So over that time period, I was averaging, I think it was 5.4, but most of the morning I was at 5.8, 5.9. It was doing really, really well. The car does incredible in stop and go traffic. That's where it really makes its money. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Because it's got one pedal driving. I never touch the brakes. And I have learned how to, when I let off the gas and it immediately it comes to a stop, about like you're putting on the brakes. And I've learned how to adjust to come right, like in stop and go traffic, just to drive it as though I'm touching the brakes, but I'm not. It also has, behind the left side of the steering wheel, there's a paddle. If for some reason I'm coming in hot I need extra stopping power, I can pull that pad, and that will be more of like really putting on the brakes to come to a stop. I use that from time to time, but mainly I just feather the, I don't want to call it the gas pedal, the accelerator, and that's how I just use that. I usually never move my foot off the accelerator other than taking it off. I don't move it over to the brake. So, of course, in 6 months we've had no expenses. There's been no. I haven't even refilled the windshield washer fluid yet, so I don't even have whatever it is now, $1.99 or two something for a gallon of windshield washer fluid. I've still got windshield washer fluid in it, so I haven't even done that. So, from the positive input, I really wanted to just say it does everything I ask of it from a ride share type of vehicle or local driving or interstate driving. You can set the cruise at 75. You can set the cruise at 80. It runs really nice. It handles really nice. It's very comfortable. There's nothing from that standpoint that it does wrong. I'm very impressed, continue to be very impressed with all of the positive things that it does. We took it to South Florida. That was a very, very interesting trip. But from a comfort level, my wife liked it. I liked it. It handled well. We went through Atlanta. We went through Chattanooga, through Nashville, through Tampa. We drove it in all the big cities. And never one concern on handling, acceleration, stopping. None of that. None of that. Range. I really didn't even have a lot of range anxiety. Not a big deal. So having said that, we're both very impressed, and I drive the car probably 99% of the time. My wife will take it from time to time. She doesn't like one pedal driving, so she turns that off when she drives it, and drives it then it drives like a normal car. If you want to come to a stop, you better push the brakes or you're not going to stop. But from the positive standpoint, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pound the bandwagon any more than we already have. It does everything I expect it to do from a positive standpoint. Now, from the bad side, I explained this in the 15,000 mile review, where the charging cords go. In the center console, there's a USB-C, I guess they call it, then a USB cord and a 12-volt cord, and they're in a terrible location. You have to reach your hand way in to get to them. I'm not going to harp on that. You could see that from my other video on in reference to that. So when I talk about bad, I have to refer back to our almost 3,000 mile trip to South Florida. And I tell you that we had some issues, numerous issues that were very stressful. So the car reacted exactly as it was advertised. It doesn't charge very fast on fast chargers, DC fast chargers, level 3, I don't know what all you want to call them. It just does not charge fast. I knew that. I researched that. I was told that. I watched some of the other YouTubers who explained that, boy, you can take it on a road trip, but you're not going to get somewhere in the same amount of time you would with a fast charging car. So, even though I knew it, when you, how do I put this? When you live it, driving, say, 160, 180 miles, and then stopping at a charger for anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes to get to an 80% charge, to drive another 160, 170 miles to your next charger and start it all over again. Okay. I had it all scheduled out. I knew what I was wanting to do. I had researched it. I had downloaded all the apps. I was a member of Electrify America, and I want to say I have canceled my membership. That video you can check and see. I did one on how horrible Electrify America is, and I won't go too far out on a limb, but let me tell you, my estimation is in 3 to 5 years they won't exist anymore. They'll be gone, done. They would have to make a change like I've never seen and fix the broken chargers, keep the chargers running, add to the chargers. You can't have 4 chargers and 2 of them broken at a stop. Yeah, I don't want to go on my rants, but anyway, I did that in another video if you want to check that. But it was my wife told me not to use the word miserable, but I can't think of another word. We used 7 charging stops going from Pekin, Illinois to Port Charlotte, Florida. It was 1,200, and I thought it was 1,250, but it was 1,245 miles on the nose to our condo in South Florida. 7 charging stops of almost, let's just say an hour, would add 7 hours to your trip. Now, we did several things to buffer that a little bit. We stopped in Paducah for lunch, and we wanted a sit-down lunch. There was an hour. We stopped for dinner somewhere. Same thing. If you time it just right, you can do that. And then we got a hotel halfway. Sometimes we drive straight through when we use our my wife's Honda minivan. But I'm not saying you couldn't drive straight through, but oof, man, that would be bad. That would be bad. So we stopped in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 600 miles down the road, ballpark, halfway, spent the night. We still didn't get in the second night until about 10 or 10:15 p.m. So we had 2 really long days. So I think out of the 7 charging spots, my thought was I was assuming we were going to add about 4 hours to our trip. Because even when we take the van, we stop a couple of times for gas. We stop a couple of times for restroom breaks. We stop a couple of times for snacks, Pepsis. We do stop. Say we stop the same amount of time, 7 or 8 times. They're not 45 minutes to an hour each time. The gas station may be 5 to 7 minutes. I like to multitask, and I make it a 10-minute, 12-minute stop, and I grab a Pepsi, I get gas, and Slim Jim or whatever I'm snacking on. Multitask. Get it all done, load up, and let's drive another 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. My wife's van will drive 550 miles, almost 6. It's got a 21-gallon tank. And on the highway, we average 28 miles per gallon. So, do the math on that. So, if we're having a good time and we got snacks on board and a soda on board and I don't have to use the restroom, we're making some time. Really making some time. Currently, I don't think there is an electric car on the market that can match our trip times. And nobody goes out, and even Teslas, which I'm a huge Tesla fan. Huge. And someday, again, when I grow up, I'm probably going to get one. But even Tesla owners are realizing, they would have had to stop 7 times. Now, they may have only had to stop 15 or 20 minutes or 25 minutes but they're still going to have to stop. So if I've got a vehicle that goes, like my minivan that goes 550 miles, you know, that's a lot of driving without stopping. So, and then 10 minutes to fill it up, 7 minutes to fill it up, whatever it takes. So I literally could go to Florida, hopefully on 3 stops if we wanted to push the limit nonstop. No hotel, just run it. But anyway, that gets off way down the rabbit trail there. Sorry for that. But the Bolt, if you can tell, is a horrible, horrible fast charging vehicle for road trips. I right now, I mean, we're 1 week out. We've only been home a week. Right now, I wouldn't even consider taking it on another road trip. I canceled my Electrify America membership the next day after we got home because they have a monthly fee to give you a discount on your prices on electricity. So, and if you were road tripping and using fast chargers around the country, you need to have a membership. The membership saves you more. They have a $7 monthly fee. You might need to charge, I don't know, 2 times a month to save your $7. That's how much of a discount on electricity that having a membership gives you. And again, I charged 7 times on the way down, and then we charged 8 times on the way back because I had a couple chargers I wanted to, different chargers I wanted to test out and see how they were, and they were fine. They were not Electrify America. Let's just say I used the EVgo network when I could because I've got $500 worth of credit, and I'm repeating a couple of things, and I apologize. For those of you that have watched my videos, I have $500 worth of credits for EVgo. So all the way to Florida, I tried to find EVgo chargers because, I mean, you might as well charge for free, free to me. So, so in all, down and back, there were 15. We used 15 fast chargers. And then while I was in Florida, I charged for free numerous times. We probably put 250 miles on the car in a week while we were in Florida. We didn't drive a lot. We went out to eat. We met family, did some basic things. But there's several places you can charge for free in Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte area, and I did that. So that was no cost at all. But my condo in Florida does not have a place to charge. So having one in my garage here in Pekin really, really brings it home at how convenient having a level 2 charger in your garage that charges between 25 and 30 miles per hour, maybe 32. It takes no time at all to charge. It could be down to, say, 50, 60, 70 miles left on the car. Plug it in the garage at night. And I have it on delayed charging, which is another very positive thing. You can delay the charge. It doesn't, sometimes if you want to, you can plug it in and it'll start charging immediately, or you can put it on delayed charge from your center console. And then you can say, tomorrow morning I'm going to leave. Like I Uber in the mornings from, say, 6 to 10. I'm usually on the road by 6 or 6:30. Get up, get my coffee, and get going. So you can put it that I want it done by 5:30 a.m. And about 5:30, between 5:30 and 5:40, I get notified. I get a text message on my phone. Boom, your car's fully charged, ready to go. Or set to 90%. You can set it to whatever percentage you want. Another positive. So that's the best use for it. I mean, what I do, and that's we don't road trip a lot, and I knew that going into that. And this was the lowest priced fully electric car that got, it says 259 miles that it gets. I'll probably get that in the winter time, maybe a little less, but in the summertime I've been getting 300 to 325 miles of charge. So all of those positives. I mean, it's getting better mileage than I ever thought. It really is far exceeding what I want it to do, way above. So also on the bad, I went at 16,000 miles. I thought it was time. The first tire rotation was at 8,000. 7,500 or 8,000. My dealership had a free one time come in and get your tires rotated. That's the maintenance on the car. So I did it. So then at 16,000 miles, I thought I love working on my own car. I change oil in all my kids' cars. I do a lot of work on my kids' cars. I still enjoy that, even as an old man. So I pulled it in the garage, got ready to rotate the tires, and I saw a location under the front, behind the front tires of a lift points. But in front of the rear tires, I didn't see any lift points like I've seen in every other car I've seen. So I pulled out the old book and started looking at it. And it immediately went to tire rotations talking about your TPMS system. So, unlike my Prius had a little yellow light if I had a low tire. I didn't know which one it was, but one of the four would be low. This one tells me that all four tires, what the tire pressure is. So if one of them's low, I can, the right front has 32 pounds or something, whatever. I can put air in the right front. Well, when you rotate those tires, you then have to go through with a sensor that I don't have. I can get one on Amazon. I've had several people comment to me that, you can buy one of those on Amazon. They're cheap. You can get one. I just haven't done it yet. And I'm struggling with grabbing another tool, and I think they're dirt cheap, somewhere between, somebody said $5.99, $5.09. I think they're between $10 and $20 for a really top-notch one that's made for a General Motors car. But anyway, I was frustrated because I don't have that, and it's like, well, then your tires won't work right. And you won't know which tire is low, and they'll be off, and then you'll have to go through the sensors. I went out to a small town nearby Tremont, and I talked to them at Tremont Oil. And I just love those guys. I've been getting my tires there for my cars for years and years and years. They usually have the best price. They rotate the tires for free all the time, anytime you want. And one of the employees told me when I went out there, I said, "What's the deal with this?" He's like, "Yeah, General Motors has that. It's a GM thing." He said, "If you want to rotate your own tires, then just bring it out here. We'll run it through the sensor program and relearn the tires again." I haven't done that. They would do it for free for me. They're just that nice. I'm frustrated. I think the dealerships basically want you to bring the cars back in. I could take it over to my dealership. They charge $19.99 for a tire rotation. I just have trouble because for years I've always done my own, or bought them at Tremont Oil tires, where they rotate them for free for me anyway, anytime I want them rotated. So I will definitely, when I need tires, and the tread at 20,000 miles, I wanted to tell you the tread looks like brand new on this car. So my guess is I'm going to get at least 60 or 70,000 miles out of him, easy. I think we'll see. But I think other than that, from the bad standpoint, I was frustrated with the trip. The road trip that we took, really just living those long charges, that's what kind of did it for me. I mean, just, it's one thing when you research it and you're like, I have to stop longer. You know what? It'll be fine. Well, when it's 100 degrees out and you're stopped, or you're backed up because two of the chargers are broken, and then there's a line and you have to wait in line to even get in, no wonder people are talking about going back to internal combustion engines. I met a wonderful couple in Cordell, Georgia. They were driving, I think the Mercedes is the EQS. Oh, it was gorgeous. They had just gotten it. Now, I don't know if Mercedes didn't go over everything on fast charging with them or what the deal was. They were heading back north. They had been to Panama City, Florida, and were headed back north. That car is just beautiful. Oh, I don't know the price on those, but anyway. They struggled the whole time. Everywhere they went, um, they didn't explain to them the different speeds on charger, like the 150. I explained to them about what a 150 is on a Electrify America charger versus a 350 kilowatt supercharger, fast charger, whatever you want to call it. The Mercedes can handle a lot at a low state of charge. So I told them if there's a 350 available, you might want to take that. If unfortunately, like Electrify America, if two are broken and there's only two available and there's only one there when you take what you can get. You know, I ran into many problems. So I'm not sure of my road tripping troubles. Half of it was the car, and half of it was the charging network. That was the two issues that I had. So, but I wanted to. I don't want to get too far off task on the 20,000 mile review. I don't have any complaints. The complaints that I have told you about, basically, I'm rectifying. We're not taking it on road trips. I I may or may not buy that sensor, the TPMS sensor, to reset the tires every time I rotate them, or every 7,500, 8,000, whatever. I may just take it to a place, pay them $20, and if I have to do that until I get a new set of tires, I will get them at a place that has free tire rotation, and then I won't have that anymore. So I'll get through it on this first set of tires. We'll do it. We'll get done. Not a big issue. So other than that, I really can't think of anything else. And I know I keep going back to the fast charging issues, but that is, and it's known, that is the worst issue of the car. But what I don't understand, and for those of you that are experts on this, because it's still new to me after 6 months. I mean, I've researched for years. I've wanted a Tesla for 7 years. I just can't afford one. But I was coming to a stop today. I was coming down off of a hill, and I hit the paddle to regen coming down a hill. And on the center console, it has, when you're stepping on the gas, it'll tell you how many kilowatts you're using, and then when you let off the gas and it's regenerating, it'll have a little green circle, and it will tell you how many kilowatts of energy are going back into the battery. So here's my question to all of you experts for General Motors. My car, the fastest you can charge my car on a level 3 DC fast charger, if the battery temperature is correct and the battery is low enough state of charge, I've gotten 56 kilowatts out for a very short time, and then 55, 54. 54 is a lot, but 56. But I was coming off this hill today, coming down a hill, and I hit the paddle to give it more regen, and the regen went up to 70 kilowatts. I don't know what the maximum amount is, but there was 70 kilowatts going into the battery, is according to what I'm understanding. It was regenning, and I hit the paddle as we're going down, and I got 70 kilowatts. Now, that was for maybe 2 seconds. That wasn't for a 20-minute charge or 30-minute charge. But if the car can take 70 kilowatts for a short time, why can't GM open up the charging to 70 kilowatts? And that's not fast. That's still terrible. But that might be 20% better than, 25% better than 55 kilowatts, 56, 54, 50, whatever, If you could get even say another 25% out of it, if it would allow you to charge that, they're not, unless there's an update somewhere along the line. They haven't done it since when they came out in 2017. This whole setup has been identical since 2017. Other than they're doing a new battery now, it's the exact same. So it is what it is. I mean, I hate that saying, but with that, I just wanted to tell you that I got 70 kilowatts regen. Again, it was for 2 seconds. It wasn't for a long time, but the battery is capable of that. And I don't know what the maximum is. Maybe when I come off an interstate sometime, I will really hit it. I will come off there. I will come off an interstate, like maybe down an exit ramp, and I will slam on the paddle, and I'll see if we get more than 70. I don't know what the maximum amount it'll take. Regen back to the battery. So with that, I think I'll get out of here. I won't take up any more of your time. I appreciate all the comments. The newer subscribers have been saying some great comments. I appreciate it. If you would like and subscribe, I would greatly help. It's a small, very small channel, as you can see. I just want to see how we're doing. So I appreciate everything that anybody says. The comments have been great. So with that, please take care of yourself, be safe, and have a blessed week, everyone. Thank you.